Hello and welcome back to G-senjou no Maou. And to those who may or may not have answered me about my question if the audio is okay like it is, forget all about it, even though you probably already did and I should stop doing that. The audio like it is now, I would consider final unless I get a complaint. So if there's something still off, and something still not quite right, please tell me. But otherwise, I think I keep the audio as it is now, because now I fiddled so much with it that I think I have something when the loudest music plays, like in the last episode, this din 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 din. When this plays, I should be still audible enough if I read in this normal voice. So if I'm getting louder, I should still be audible enough. So I don't know how this will pan out if I have to talk with a lower voiced character, but we will see about that more or less. So I won't ask this question anymore about the audio. I only will react if I get a complaint, even though it could be delayed about 3 episodes even. So please bear in mind that I try to record in bulk just to be able to deliver one video a day at least of this. Otherwise I couldn't manage it, because sometimes the days are unpredictable what I can do, want to, and have to do. In any case, let's continue now. We ended this on a cliffhanger. And the cliffhanger was here. The dots. Final thing. Looks like I played a little too much. I almost missed the train to the Southern District. Wait, what? That's why he said it? Guess I stayed at the arena for too long. Though I managed to catch the train in the end, I can't shake this nagging feeling that everything I do will fail. For example, Saijou. He was captured as a result of my underestimation of Usami. Using accomplices, constructing alibis, hosting a wild goose chase with decoys, these things certainly introduce a little variety into the concept of crime, but at the same time, accomplices are risk incarnate. And in the end, Saijou revealed my plan. Case in point. What a despicable human being. I was so kind to him, yet he betrayed me. Bit by bit, I've really come to understand that an accomplice is nothing more than a hindrance. Still, I can't help but laugh. Out of relief, that is. I'd almost like to thank Saijou for passing my feint on to those who would oppose me. 'Cause my real target isn't canon. It's you, Azai Gonzo. I left the arena immediately. It's not a good idea to stay in place with so many cameras for too long. After taking a detour halfway to retrieve the bag with the bomb near the train station, I arrived at Gonzo's mansion. I suppose the devil has smiled on me this evening. Even though I half predicted it, no, expected it, I'm still shocked that Gonzo left himself defenseless, despite being in the middle of a war. It's a direct result of the continuous disruption the Sonoyama group has faced this week. Well, it would only take a minute to plant the bomb on the bottom of Gonzo's personal Mercedes. I'm confident that I could manage it even if there had been security patrols. But in any case, tonight at 9, the general will enter the battle with Shin-ei himself. He plans to wipe the small fries who dare challenge the Sonoyama group off the face of the earth, apparently. Everyone in the Yakuza knows about this, so obviously I know of it too. In just a moment, the car will park near the front gate to pick up Gonzo. I'll aim for the moment the driver leaves the car to get Gonzo. Gonzo would never have thought he'd be killed this way. Car bombs and the like simply aren't in Yakuza protocols. These mafia types announce themselves first. Then they declare their intentions and charge right in for the kill. It wouldn't be honorable to take an enemy's head without going through the proper procedure. Really? Mafia have some kind of code that makes them not reliant on assassins and just stealthy killing in this kind of way? This is especially true for the highly traditional Shin-A group. Okay, yeah. What would Rick say? Traditions are an idiot's way. An idiot thing, not an idiot's way. But that what? Not Morty. Wick would say that. Morty is the dumb kid, and Wick is the genius. So Wick would say traditions are an idiot's thing. The only problem will be the police. For the same reason that Gonzo won't suspect a thing, the police will have a good chance of guessing that the person who killed Gonzo wasn't someone from Shin-A. However, that's as far as they get. First off, I won't leave any evidence pointing to me as the culprit. The wool cap is a bit of a joke, but it's also here to guarantee that I won't leave any hair on the scene. Naturally, I'm using latex gloves, so I won't leave fingerprints. Though there's a chance that fibers from my clothing will be left behind, my apparel tonight consists entirely of cheap goods from local apartment stores. Anyone could buy this stuff. Well, even if I chose to be a little lazy, the bomb would blow most of this way. However, I took one single most important precaution. Gonzo is undoubtedly wary of me, despite the fact that he's heading straight for the chopping block. Those who remain will likely ask, where was that most suspicious Maou during Gonzo's last fatal battle with Shin-A? Thus I thought I'd give them an answer to ease their worries. Oh, he was angry at the state of the figure skating world and busy brooding over his grudge against Azai Cannon, its representative. Hence my utilization of Saijou. Wait, what? Busy brooding over his grudge against Azai Cannon, its representative. Wait, I don't get it right now. I pretended to criticize figure skating with as much jargon as possible. Though I was passionately describing the new judging system, it was only a very average normal opinion that many average normal people hold. But Saijou wouldn't know that, of course. The same goes for my political ideas. I don't even have a scintilla of interest in this country's future. I admit, I occasionally make some harmless comment that I have no intention of answering for. But that's more like stating your opinion after watching a movie than it is preparing for revolution. I feel no need to spout my beliefs to the masses. I simply act on them. And the more perfect those actions are, the better. Ah. The car's approaching. I hid behind a nearby house and watched the Mercedes-Benz park near the gate. An oversized skinhead stepped out of the car and disappeared into the house. Excellent. There's not a trace of another person in the vicinity, and the bomb was installed successfully. I set it to explode at 8:50 exactly. That's 10 minutes from now. It takes at least 15 minutes to get to Shin-A Central Boulevard headquarters by car, even if you speed the whole way. So in order to get there by 9, they must leave before 8:45. This way the explosion will happen in the middle of transit. There may be some collateral damage to nearby pedestrians and vehicles, but, well, that's nothing more than a terrible case of simple bad luck. Part of being alive is dealing with the senseless executions that happen every once in a while. Just like my father's. As I walked along the winter streets, the chills soaked into my bones. I have no qualms about killing Azai Gonzo. Gonzo is an existence that must be destroyed, and I refuse to rest until this has been realized. Mother's mental illness was directly induced by Gonzo's ceaseless hounding. Her doctor confirmed this, and right now, Gonzo has mobilized his entire organization on either Shin-A or Cannon. Once your prey shows an opening, it's only natural to move in for the kill. Isn't that right, Gonzo? Finally, the hands of my watch approach 8:50. At any rate, Yusami hasn't shown much growth. This ruse was no different than the one that led her to the Plaza Hotel after rummaging through Saijou's garbage. She went through so much to get Saijou to talk, and the effort blinded her to the fact that he might have been misleading her, or misled himself. I even looked through this ruse. I even saw he wanted that to happen, or he anticipated that this could happen and already planned around that. If she'd taken a moment to look at the big picture, she'd have realized that there were many holes in my presentation. But instead, she just slipped once again into the habits of focusing purely on what's in front of her. 8:50. A thunderous noise erupted and echoed within my belly. I checked to make sure, and the sky over Gonzo's house was illuminated. There were screams. What was considered the safest and most peaceful residential district in the city sank into chaos. A shallow hell. Still very, very shallow. I looked down on the crowds that poked their heads out of their windows. And patience. Just you wait. It'll only be a bit longer. I'll show you something far more interesting. I tightly shut my lips to stop my overconfidence in its tracks. From a strategic perspective, the victory of this battle was but an insignificant one. And now he changes back to his real self or his alternate self. I don't even know who's the real one anymore. The ladies' short programs were all finished, and the crowd began to thin out. As if echoing my body's condition, my phone suddenly lost its signal, and I couldn't contact Yusami or Oribe. Though I'm dizzy, I can't remember much. I know that I was chasing a man with a wool cap. But after getting swallowed by the crowd, I let him escape. Thankfully, there was no explosion. When I checked and saw that Cannon was safe, I suddenly felt all the weight being lifted off my shoulders. Did Maou fail? Or rather, did Yusami stop him? The words of a passing pair of lovers reached my ears. Was an explosion in the southern district. Though I'm not usually one for eavesdropping, I thought it was of interest and began to listen closely. Yakuza seems to be a boss. Must be related to those shooting downtown. There's no peace in the city anymore. Just when I went looking for a public phone, I heard someone call out to me. Adai-san. Yusami, with her brilliant sharp eyes, was standing there. Where have you been up till now? Oh, sorry. I explained the situation.
心配してたんですよ。倒れてるんじゃないかって。
You had me really worried. I kept thinking you might have collapsed somewhere. Didn't I tell you not to worry? Anyway, I just heard some crazy news.
はい。そうでしょうね。
Yeah, I can imagine. Yusami suddenly turned away. What's wrong?
いえ、
Nothing. The corners of her eyes trembled slightly.
すみません。なんか悔しくて。
I am sorry. I'm just a little overwhelmed. I was forced into silence.
こんな顔、あなたに見せたくなくて。
I don't want you to see me like this. She couldn't be more different from her usual annoying self. What a bitter expression. It took her a moment, but it looks like she's finally restrained her desire to cry out.
そのまま聞いてもらえますか？
Would you mind hearing me out? She almost sounds like a different person.
今となっては負け惜しみのようですが、最初からおかしいとは思っていたんです。
I know it's pointless to bring this up now, but I noticed a few strange things at the beginning of this ordeal.
まず、第一の被害者です。
First of all, Mao's first victim. The designer that made Cannon's outfit.
脅迫状では、さも魔王が殺したように書かれていましたが、実際のところどうなのかと引っかかってはいたんです。
The letter implied that Mao killed the man, but I personally doubt that claim.
階段から突き落としたくらいで確実に死ぬと思いますか？
Do you think that being pushed from a staircase is really enough to kill someone without a shadow of a doubt?
実際現場にも行ってみました。階段は確かに急でしたし、視界も悪いです。しかし、螺旋状の階段でして、たとえ転げ落ちても途中で止まるのではないかと思いました。
In the following days, I went to the site of the accident. The stairs are indeed very steep, and the visibility is downright awful. But it was a spiral staircase, so I think that even if someone was pushed, they'd be able to stop quite quickly.
私は、これは警察の発表通り、殺人ではなく事故なのではないかと仮定しました。
I was of the opinion that just as the police had concluded, this wasn't a murder but an accident.
魔王は殺人を装った。本当はたまたま事故死した人をさも自分が殺したように見せかけたのではないか。確証は取れませんがね。
Mao pretended to kill someone. He might have merely claimed responsibility for the man's death, despite having nothing to do with it. As usual, I have no proof of this, though.
すると、次に殺人を装えそうな人物がいました。2ヶ月前から帰国していて、連絡の取れないバレエダンサーのユグムントさんです。私は念のため、彼の不在を確認しに、西区の港まで行きました。
And following this, Mao targeted a second individual, the ballet dancer, Mikhail Jukmund, who we have been unable to contact after he returned to his own country 2 months ago, just in case I went to the area around his old home in the Western District to make sure he was absent. So that was her reasoning for going there.
ユグムントさんが殺されたように見せかけたいのなら、自宅付近で何らかの事件が起こるのではないかと思いました。そこで辺りをうろうろしていたら、西条とばったり出くわしたわけです。
If Mao wanted others to think that the dancer was killed, I figured that something might happen around there, and while wandering around, I went straight into Saijou.
そこで不可解な事件が起こっていました。海に続く血です。西条がユグムントさんを殺したのかとも思いましたが、彼のコートに血はついていませんでした。
And, lo and behold, something did happen. There was a trail of blood leading into the sea. I had originally thought that Saijou killed Mr. Jukman, but there was no blood on his coat. If Saijou used a knife to kill someone, there would be splatter on him.
後々西条の荷物を物色して分かったことですが、西条はどうやらユグムントさんの外国人運転免許証を拾ったようなのです。
After going through Saijou's things, I also discovered that he had picked up Mr. Jukmun's foreign driver's license. His driver's license? I finally opened my mouth.
しかし、おそらく偽造でしょう。たとえユグムントさんが海に落ちたとして、どうして都合よく身分証が現場に残るんですか？
However, I would argue that it was probably a fake. Even if Mr. Jukmun did fall into the sea, why would his ID land so conveniently there on the boardwalk? Maybe Maou left it there for Saijou?
しかし、海に落とすということは、被害者の身元の判別を遅らせるためでしょ？とても考えにくいですね。
Ah, but isn't the whole point of pushing someone into the sea to delay identification of the body? I find that hard to imagine. So you are saying Maou pretended to kill someone again?
はい。しかしそれは我々には知らされないことでした。西条は信じ込んでいたようですがね。
Yes, but while we know this, Saijou believed it wholeheartedly. Why would Maou do something like that? What's the point of faking murders that only Saijou believes to be real?
そこが私にもわかりませんでした。しかし、この2件の偽の殺人こそが、今回の脅迫事件の全体像をつかむ有力な手がかりだったんです。
I can't say for certain. Still, these two fake murders are the strongest leads in the entire incident. Leads?
何よりもおかしいのは、魔王はなぜカノンを直接脅迫しなかったのでしょうか。
But the most suspicious question still remains. Why didn't Maou simply threaten Canon herself? Oh yeah. He clearly knew about Gonzo's residence, so there'd be no question that he knew where a celebrity like Canon lived. And even if he didn't know, he could still leave a message for her at the school, the practice wing, or one of countless other places. Well, they are family, so the message will get passed along sooner or later. No, that's a pathetic explanation right off the bat. There'd be no point in dragging things out like that.
私はまた魔王が遊んでいると考えていました。
I had thought that Maou was playing his games again. Yeah, he must have been. I guess that makes this just like the kidnapping case then. This was just another challenge for you from the beginning.
しかし実際は違いました。魔王は本気でした。緻密に計画を練り上げ、さも私と遊んでいるように見せかけて、我々を欺いていたんです。
No, I was dead wrong about that. Maou was serious. He planned this meticulously, then merely acted like he was playing. He managed to fool every last one of us. Yusami lowered her head and quivered a bit, as if she were gnawing on her defeat.
魔王の本当の標的はカノンではなかったんです。
Maou's true target wasn't Canon. What?
間違いありません。
There's no doubt about that. I suppose the fact that Canon is unharmed supports the theory, but...
魔王は巧妙に自分がさもフィギュアスケート会場を狙っているように我々を誘導していました。
Maou used an ingenious ruse to trick us into believing that his true target was at the arena.
その最もな例が西条です。
His use of Saijou is the clearest example of this slate.
西条がよほど優秀な人物ならわかります。けれど、西条は魔王にとって足手まといに過ぎませんでした。
I grant that Saijou is
私
an
たちに計画を漏らしています。
I grant that Saijou is an excellent specimen. Still, he would only be a hindrance at best to Maou. As proof, he confessed to us in the end.
しかし、それこそが罠だったんです。 西条が足手まといであればあるほど魔王にとっては有能な共犯者だったのです。
However, that was Mao's trap. The more poorly Saijou performed, the more useful he became to Mao.
魔王はおそらく西条がユグモントさんの殺害の件も喋ると予想していたのでしょう。おかげでますます我々の目はフィギュアスケートに集まっていきました。
Chances are, Mao had predicted even Saijou's revelation concerning Mr. Jukmund's murder, and just as he had hoped, we focused our attention on the arena. But didn't Mao treat Saijou kindly in an attempt to make him swear allegiance? What would he have done if Saijou hadn't confessed? Or if we never even caught him?
そこは魔王も懸念していたことでしょう。今回はゴンゾーさんとその組織もついていました。暴力団の拷問に耐えられる人間などいないと踏んでいたのかもしれません。
That's probably the one element of his plan which he didn't have control over. It seemed a safe enough bet, though seeing as Gonzo-san and his men were involved in this time around, he probably figured that no one would be able to withstand Yakuza torture. And that bet paid out in full, despite Saijou's resilience to Oribe's sadism. Yusami once said that Mao would prepare a show befitting his audience, and she was right.
2日にわたる尋問の末、ユキの力も借りて、ようやく聞き出した魔王の計画です。私はホテルに誘導された時と同じ失敗をしてしまったんです。
And after 2 days of interrogation and getting Yuki involved in this, I assumed the information was legitimate. I've been had, just like at the hotel. Oh man. I mean, I saw through it as well, but I think the difference between the characters in the novel and me is that I see it from an outsider perspective and I'm not put under the stress of real life being threatened. Maybe that's the main difference. We both were. Don't be so down. When you proposed the flower toss at the moment of truth, it seemed too brilliant to be wrong. Yusami glanced up at me with very sad eyes.
どうもありがとうございます。
Thank you. I really mean it. I wasn't trying to comfort you. In any case, I understand your point now. Like you said, there'd be no real reason for Mao to hurt Canon.
私は魔王が私の仲間を狙っていると勘違いしていました。
I was misdirected into thinking that Mao's target was our friend. It was a reasonable thought, seeing as that was the case in the Miwa kidnapping incident. Wait, so the real target is? The passing couple's conversation suddenly sprang to mind.
はい、その答えにたどり着いたのはカノンの演技が終わる直前でした。
Yes, I came to that conclusion right before Canon's performance ended.
魔王は手の込んだ誘導を仕掛けてきましたよね。
You know how Mao loves his misdirection games? Yeah?
今回の事件で最も振り回されたのは誰です？
Well, throughout this whole incident, who was the one being toyed with the most? You and...
浅井ゴンゾーさんです。
I inhaled sharply, but only a tiny gasp escaped my throat.
だからこそ脅迫状は私とゴンゾーさん宛てに届いたんです。
That's precisely the reason the letter was addressed to us. To the monster and my beloved hero.
実際私も命を狙われました。ゴンゾーさんはどうでしょう？今別の暴力団とも敵対して大忙しですよね。
My life was targeted over the course of this incident. So what about Gonzo-san? He's been quite busy with that other gang, hasn't he? Gonzo would never suspect that Mao's fangs were actually pointed at himself.
ただそれもあくまで推測でして、また裏を書かれているのではないかと疑心暗鬼に駆られてしまいました。 それでゴンゾーさんへの連絡が遅れてしまったことが悔しくて仕方がないのです。
Remember though, this is a hypothesis through and through. I was worried that I had missed something, so I dilly-dallied around rather than reporting in. I wish I had called him earlier, while there was still time. Are you saying you actually predicted that this could happen, but you missed the opportunity to do so because you thought if you have no proof he wouldn't have listened to you? Are you serious? Really? Oh, he would have even believed you, I think, at the very least. Okay, but the main thing pardon me, the main thing I believe currently is that Gonzo's still alive. I have the feeling he's still alive and not dead. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's still alive. I can't believe that Gonzo would be that stupid. How? I screamed without reservation. Wait, that was... How? Would be more appropriate. Then that explosion in the residential area of the Southern District was...
ゴンゾーさんを狙ったものでしょう。
some attack aimed at Gonzo. I can't believe this. Gonzo can't be dead. Have you tried getting in contact with him? Don't tell me that we're too late. I couldn't suppress my anxiety. Alright, look. I'm just gonna check on Gonzo's house. No, I should check the hospital first. Damn it! The man might be a demon, but I owe him my life. I've wished for his death many times, but now that it's actually happened...
お優しいんですね、本当は。
You really are a good son. Stop joking around! If Gonzo dies, a shrimp like me is done for!
安心してください、浅井さん。
Rest assured, Adai-san. What? You suddenly spoke calmly.
ゴンゾーさんはご無事ですよ。
Gonzo is perfectly fine. Safe is the actual word. But I called it! Called it! Called it! They couldn't get rid of one of the main characters. My limbs lost all strength. I could do nothing but blink repeatedly. I eventually calmed down. Soon after, Oribe came by and ushered us into a high-end club on Central Boulevard. Wait. Oh, okay. Not a single normal customer was inside. The hostess wasn't there either. Did you think I died, boy? The giant acknowledged my arrival before taking a swig of strong whiskey. Yes, I am so glad you are safe. A deep bellowed laughter echoed throughout the club.
Maou, 上の策を浪するのは得意なようだが、殺しというものが分かっている。
Oh my, I just realized I changed the volumes in-game as well, and now even the voices are... Oh, I know how to fix that though. I know how to fix that, wait. There we go. Lower BGM volume on voice. Haha! That Maou sure knows how to beat around the bush with his plans, but he doesn't know what it means to kill a person.
狩りをしようと思うなら、自らも食われる覚悟で臨まねばならん。実際、魔王は俺の屋敷に乗り込んでくるのではなく、次元式の爆弾を用いて保身に走った。
Well, that's not a solution because the music is still too low. I don't want that. Wait, what am I doing now? God damn it. Okay. If you want to hunt, you have to be prepared to die yourself. But the punk didn't even step foot in my house. He just set a bomb and ran away. Then you saw through his plan to booby-trap your car?
いや、魔王の手口そのものは巧妙だと言わざるを得。証拠の一つも残していないのだろう。どんな手段で俺を殺しにかかるのか見ものではあったが、予測のしようはなかった。
Oh, there we go. Oh, this is what I accidentally turned off. Okay. No, I have to admit, Maou's a brilliant strategist. I bet he didn't leave a single trace of evidence. I was interested in seeing what he'd do when he came to take my life. But there was no way I could predict that. Interested? We're talking about your life here.
最初から奴が俺の命を狙うことは分かっている。なぜなら、脅迫状は俺に届いたのだから。宇佐美が解いたような細々とした理屈は後からつけ。
I knew the kid was after my head from the start, seeing as the letter was sent here. The rest of Yusami's evidence I didn't catch until she mentioned it.
読み通り、不審な点はいくつも出てきた。階段から突き落として殺すなど愚の骨頂というもの。事故と殺人の区別がつかないほど式は甘い。
Okay, I think I have to tinker with the audio again, and I will put it. I need to put a save for me. So yeah, next episode this will be fixed. But I wasn't surprised there were too many suspicious points. I mean, pushed from the stairs? Stupid. Coroners aren't paid ridiculous amounts of government money to be unable to tell the difference between an accident and a murder.
他にも西条というかませに不意に勢いづいた親衛官を課すとだから俺はわざと自分の動きを知らせるような情報を裏に流した。
There was also the matter of that decoy, Saijou, and how those Shin'ei bastards suddenly got their hands on foreign firepower. But I should be grateful, since that was the chance I took to leak information about my plans. And your plan to march into battle tonight was...
俺は旧態依然とした親衛会とは違う。獲物を狩る。なぜ声を上げればな。
I am different from Shin'ei. If I want to catch prey, why would I tell them about it? I'm well aware that he's a maverick among the Yakuza, but his radical philosophy is still difficult to comprehend at times. Okay.
お話中失礼します。今、親衛会の内藤組長が見えてまして。
Sorry to interrupt, boss. I just got done talking to the Shin'ei group's leader, Naito. And?
親父に面倒しを願っていまして、どうやら手打ちを申し出てるようですが。
He says he wants to help you find out which of his men is responsible for this mess. Looks like he wants to come to an agreement.
和睦したいのか。
So the Reds come to beg for peace.
縁故も詰めてきたようでして。
Yeah, and I think he's ready to cut off a finger in apology.
指などいらん。金を持ってこさせろ。
What would I do with a finger? Tell him to bring cash.
それは納得されないでしょう。 組長にもメンツってもんが。
Well, I don't think he'll like that. He has a reputation to consider, after all.
納得させろ。それが俺に従うということだ。できんのなら皆殺しにすると伝えろ。
I don't care if he likes it. He is in no position to disobey me. Tell him that if he can't pay, all his men are dead. Chinei's boss came personally to apologize, yet Gonzo closed the door on him.
というわけだ、京介。魔王が車を爆破した頃、俺はここで酒を飲んでいた。
Anyway, that's the story, Kyosuke. I was drinking here when Maou planted that bomb. Watching everything with calm abandonment. But he could afford to be this calm. I suppose, seeing as he predicted everything. I see. Your safety is more important than anything else. There was nothing else to be said. I bowed and walked to the door.
ウサギ、
はい。
分かっていると思うが、京介が目を離す。
Keep a close eye on Kyosuke. I'm sure you know what I mean. Yusami, without answering, followed me out. Oh, is he changing back? In the end, my plan was simply not thorough enough. Setting things in motion without confirming the target firsthand was a mistake. I suppose I underestimated Yusami and Azai Gonzo a bit. Just a bit. I'll admit my defeat. There are many things one can learn from defeat. For example, Azai Gonzo really is something to behold. A lone hunting rifle can't kill him. Next time, though, I put you down for sure. I am back! Hey, champ! Looks like you got a high score today, too. Cannon smiled and opened the bag she was carrying. She began to pack her clothes. What's going on? Nanchan's going home. I mean, back to Coach's place. Really? You know, I don't mind if you stay, right? Thank you. Another small smile came and went. Watching you stay so busy with Yusamin and Paparin is too distracting. There you go, thinking you're the center of the universe again. Sorry for being so selfish. What? Shocked, I took a long, hard look at Cannon's face. Oh, why is she crying? Come on! I could just barely see the tears shimmering on the surface of her eyes. Oh, I know why she is so sad. She was not allowed to confess, and now she's sad about it, and the only way to suppress it is to leave me. Oh God. Oh man, oh God. Why am I smiling? That makes no sense. I have just twitchy muscles in my face that compels me to smile on camera. Whatever. I have no choice but to be this way, you know? I just can't keep going unless I really believe that I'm the best, that I'm the one that's always right. I'm sorry, okay? Bye-bye. She bid a sudden farewell. As if she had set her heart in stone, Cannon's hands furiously, incessantly packed. Did something happen?
何もないよ。
Nope. But
何もなかったから。今度こそ踏ん切りがついたの。
oh, I knew it. It is because she was denied. I wouldn't have done it if I would have known. Well, I would still have done it, but only for the ending. Nothing happened at all, and that finally gave me the courage to give up. Her eyes were full of sadness, yet the tears within burned as if scolding me. I could only stand there dumbly. Should I have given more thought as to why Cannon came here to rely on me? We are siblings, though only in name. No doubt there was something I could have done for her.
なんかね、毎日楽しかったよ。帰ってきたら兄さんがいるって思うと。
You know, the days I spent here were more fun than usual, since I knew you'd be waiting for me when I got home. I didn't do anything.
ああ、家だなって。味方がいるなって。スケート以外にも世界があるんだなって。
Until these past few days, I had forgotten about home and about family. You helped me remember the world outside of skating. I was confused, restless, and anxious. Something like a breath was welling up in my throat, and I had to let it out. Why not stay then? I held a hand out to Cannon. I'm so sorry. I've been so preoccupied with keeping bothersome things from you that I completely failed to realize that you must have been doing the same. However, Cannon merely replied in a dejected, hopeless tone.
氷の上が私の居場所。大丈夫。納得してるから。
The ice is where I belong. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. She calmly returned my gaze with a smile.
私は私の道を行くよ。オリンピック絶対行くから。見ててね。
I'll keep going down my path. I'll make the Olympics. Just watch. Cannon had already closed off her heart. There was nothing left for me to say.
じゃあねー。
See ya! Behind that light smile lies something that she'll never let me see again.
ああ、シャツの襟が曲がってるぞ。
Ah, your collar's bent. Her slender fingers gently slid along my neck.
まったく。兄さんは抜けてるとこあるからな。まったくもう。
Goodness, you can be so careless sometimes. Goodness. Tumultuous emotions bound me in silence. Cannon has never cared about my looks before. But it was a thin sympathy. Leaving behind her in unsettling confusion, my sister and Name only walked out the door. Oh my. The icy, salty sea wind stabbed the skin. The darkness of this particular night allowed the stars to shine and made Tomanbetsu City's populace all the more aware of the coming cold of winter. Haru sorted through recent events one more time. This time with Adai Gonsu's power, she had been able to force a stalemate. The pocket of this girl bathing in helplessness began to vibrate, and a melodic chime poured forth into the night. Her will to find burned hot once more. It was the foam Maou had given her. Are you enjoying the taste of victory?
冗談だろ。
Are you joking?
それを聞いて安心した。お前たちはまだ私を捕まえていないのだからな。
I am relieved to hear that. After all, you've yet to catch me, Yusami Haru. Focusing on the voice coming from the receiver, Haru bent down and looked to the bottom of the sea.
あの血は 動物か何かだったのか。
Was the blood from an animal?
近くのスーパーで魚を安売りしていたものでな。
I don't want to keep my mouth before my hand just to let it sound like it comes from a phone, but maybe I should do it. Maybe, yeah, I think that's basically, maybe it can work. I hope it works. Let's see. It's cheap fish from a nearby market.
警察が調べればすぐに殺人なんて起こっていないことがわかる。だから西条に確認させ、西条の口から私たちに告げさせたんだな。
You knew that the police could tell it wasn't a murder. That's why you had Saijo check and report it to us.
そこまで考えていたわけではない。私はただ西条に力があるところを見せつけてやるつもりだった。死体が上がらぬ海などといかにも怪しげな嘘もついたが、彼は純粋だった。換気扇に投げ入れるだけで店の人間を全て殺せる劇薬を簡単に作れると信じれるくらい。
Nonsense. I didn't think that far. I merely wanted Saijo to think I'm powerful. That's all. I even told him that corpses don't float in the sea surrounding the city. It was a far-fetched lie, but he was a pure one. He even believed that a nerve gas which could be thrown into a ceiling fan and kill everyone in the room could be easily produced.
C の5番の席にあった紙袋にガムテープで封がしてあったのは西条のミスではなく魔王の指示だな。
Wait, what? The tape on the back at C5 wasn't his error, but your order, correct?
気づいてもらわねば困るのでな。いいヒントだったと思うが。
I needed to have you and your ilk follow the gambit, after all. Don't you think it was a good hint? Damn it. Haru clicked her tongue in her mind.
おかげで私たちは西条を追うことに必死になった。その間に魔王はじっくりと西条を手なずけていったわけだな。
It was perfect thanks to you. We chased after Saijo with all we had. You really trained him to be a good boy, didn't you?
手なずけるという言い方は心外だな。彼は誰でもいいから構ってほしかった。私はそんな可愛い坊やと少しだけ遊んでやったに過ぎない。
Trained? That's not a very nice way to put it. He just wanted a little attention, you know? I merely granted that lovely child his wish and played with him a little.
同じことだ。
It's all the same.
いや違う。彼は楽しかったはずだ。私と出会ったことで捨て鉢のような人生にようやく春が訪れた。たとえ破滅が待っていたとしても、普段は味わえない興奮と期待を覚えていただろう。
No, it isn't. He should be ecstatic after meeting me. That pathetic, useless existence finally met spring. If he's slated to be exterminated soon, I gave him excitement and desire, the likes of which he'd never have known otherwise. Haru had already predicted Mao's next words.
お前もそうだ、宇佐美春。やっと私に巡り会えた。お前はただの死に損ない。お前に必要なのは愛でも友情でもなく、敵であり悪であり、そう固くできる思い込みだ。
You are no different, Yusami Haru. You finally managed to find me. After all, you are just a revenant. What you need isn't love or friendship, but an adversary or evil. Something you can use as a pretext for your obsession. Haru felt the hole this devil had dug into her chest widen. Her face grew stiff, her breath shallow.
だからバイオリンも捨てたのだろう。
Isn't that why you abandoned the violin? Keep silent. Endure it. Just endure it. The growing, licking flames of hate held Haru fast to the ground. She could only stand there, statuesque, dumbstruck.
まだまだ構ってやる。
I will play with you again, Maou said gently.
決して春の訪れない冬の遊び場で。
At the winter playground where spring will never arrive. At some point the dial tone reached her ears. The violin, with her eyes perfectly still, Haru just walked. Well, that would make sense that the violin comes into place again. I mean, it's not only called G-senjou, but it's not only called G-senjou no Maou, it's also called the devil on G-string. And maybe G-senjou no Maou even translate into the devil on G-string. Don't think about anything. Kick away the darkness of the night. Moan in pain. Retrain this anger. Bear this curse. Put your entire existence into this hatred. If Haru did anything else, she might think about trying to regain that precious toy she threw away so long ago. And we reached the end of chapter 3, and we are almost at the start of chapter 4 then. That's cool, that's exciting, that's actually cool. Alright, I think I'm going to leave this episode here then. Hope you enjoyed it so far, and as always, leave a like if you did, to show me that I'm not doing this in vain. Well, I'm doing this for myself mostly, because I want to hear how it ends, and I want to share it with you. But still, it would help a lot. And in any case, I will hopefully see you in the next one. Stay tuned.